Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make emotional guitar melodies right inside of FL Studio. If you don't know me, I'm Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. We trained over 1 million producers around the world, so I'm going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Lil Baby, Trippie Redd, Polo G, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and a long list of other folks. Okay, so we're going to use this plugin called Ample Guitar SC. Let's go to our channel rack. We're going to right click, go to piano roll. We're going to start at F because F is a very common tone to use on guitar. In this case, for this emotion. In general, the scale F minor is a very rebellious scale. The scale E minor is very depressing. It's the most depressing scale there is. So you're going to stick around E and F because of this half step for people who understand the music theory needs that I'm talking about. So the chord that we're going to map out here is called a minor 7th chord. I teach what's called chord code. So if you're new here, look up chord codes BusyWorks Beats on YouTube, and it will pull up my video about chord codes. Every chord has a DNA to it. So if I start here at F, this is my 0 point because there's no distance. Okay, then we count up to finish out the chord code. So as long as you can count, you can make chords. So this is 0. Now let's finish out the chord code. The minor 7th chord code is 0, 3, 7, 10. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're playing the minor 7th chord. Now, what we're going to do here is it's called adding a tone and a chord extension. In this case, we're going to add the 11th. The easier way to do this, though, is to think of scale degrees as like whatever the number is minus 7. Okay, so that's the easier way to think of it. So an 11th minus 7 would be the 4th. How do we get to the 4th? You add 5 semitones from the root note. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this looks like we're playing the 4th, but what we're really playing is if we raise this up an octave, this is called the chord extension, the 11th. Okay, so if I pull up the chord, the minor 11th, boom, this is the full minor 11th chord. Okay, on the right side, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the minor 7th chord. And then we're omitting what's called the 9th chord extension, and we're going to the 11th. The difference here is that we're not playing the 11th all the way up there. We're pulling it down to be in this range. Okay, but we're not going to play all these notes just like this. Now with guitar, we're going to pick the notes. This is another playing style. Usually speaking, we're going to go from the tonic to the 3rd, and we're going to go to the 7th. I'm giving you guys a deeper reasoning so you know why we do stuff. The reason we might go from the 3rd to the 7th is because the 3rd and the 7th are perceived as the same, I'll say notes, even though they're different notes. What I mean by that is you can identify a chord type based on the 3rd or the 7th. So the fact that this is a minor chord, we determine that by the distance between the tonic and the 3rd, and also the 5th and the 7th. So let me show you the magic here. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. That's called the minor 3rd. But if I start at the 5th and I count up 3 semitones, 0, 1, 2, 3. It's the same minor 3rd interval. So the way you identify a chord type is by the 3rd. Okay, so in this case, this 3rd is minor. So that's how we are going from the tonic to the 3rd to the 7th, which is basically the same function, I'll say, and then back to the 5th. And now we're just going to add a rhythm to it by picking. Now I'm at a really high BPM, so let's slow this down. Okay, so that's all you got to do is add a bounce to it, play the notes separately. You don't have to play notes that way. You could also play notes at the same time, like the tonic and the 5th. You could play these at the same time. Except for this plugin, it plays realistically, so it knows that that's not a realistic way of doing that. Because these notes are considered on the same string, so that's why you hear like a pitch bend. It goes. Yeah, so this is this plugin specifically, Ample Guitar SC, which stands for Stratocaster. Okay, so what we could do is the same exact technique. Even if you don't use the 11th, you can add what's called the 9th. So let's add the 9th. Let's first draw out what a minor add 9 chord actually is, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to add the 9th, which is 7 up from the perfect 5th, which is 7. Okay, so basically you count from the tonic up to the perfect 5th, 7 notes away. Simple. Then from the perfect 5th, you're going to count 7 more notes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is called the 9th. Now you could play this up or down an octave. Okay, and that's what creates a more melodic motion. Instead of repeating the same thing, you could add the 11th, or we could add the 9th to the minor chord. So here's another technique we could do on the ending here. This is a little more advanced. I know I'm kind of going into music theory and ease. What we're going to do is slice this. Now, usually you would play the tonic and the fifth at the same time for this to like make sense. Let's copy this over. What we're going to do is take that tonic and the fifth of the minor chord and pull it down a half step. So this is going to create a different tone. Now this works really well with the minor seventh. Let me draw it out normally so you guys can hear what it actually sounds like. So here's the minor seventh. And then what we're going to do is copy the exact chord. All we're doing is taking the tonic and the fifth and pulling it down a half step. This changes the chord type from a minor seventh to a major seventh chord type. More of an R&B technique, but it's useful. It's useful for that turnaround energy. Okay, we don't have to play all those notes either. And again, will we play it that way? No, I'm just showing you guys the music theory. So I think at the end, what we want to do is change the chord type. There are different chord types to kind of wrap something up. You guys can use a dominant ninth chord. I'm trying not to go so deep with music theory, but the simple way is you count it from your tonic and you go up to the perfect fifth. In this case, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to give you your perfect fifth. Then we can add what's called a dominant chord. This could be a dominant seventh. It could be a dominant ninth chord. There's no right or wrong chord type. In this case, because we're playing mostly 4-note chords, we're just going to stick with the seventh. So this is the normal chord voicing, but we're going to change the voicing to make this an altered chord. This is important because this is a diminished chord. Now this, again, guitar. So it has that like wrap up energy. Now you can also revoice this. You could raise the fifth and you could flatten the tonic. You could do a lot of things here, but we're just going to raise this fifth. It's hard to hear. Let's turn this mode off. Let's put this on keyboard mode so it doesn't do that kind of note bendy thing. Now we can hear the tones as is. See how it has that like that finalized energy. So let's do one thing here. Let's just turn off the amp and the cabinet combo. I don't think the cabinet's even on. Now we can play the chord like that, or we could play it the same way, which is like. Okay, so let's just do that. And we can even add another note. Because a half step wants to resolve down. So when people tell me, like they struggle with melodies, you have to learn harmony. I teach this, guys, in my music theory magic course. If you go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory magic, you guys can get the course that shows you what we just did. We basically went from the tonic to the dominant chord because that's going to create that tension to pull back to the tonic. And I explain all these concepts, bite-sized in the music theory magic course. Go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory magic because you have to learn harmony because melody most of the time is broken up harmony, spread apart harmony. Now let's humanize this a little bit. Let's add the tools here. Let's go to humanize. And this is an FL Studio script that will add a velocity randomness and a timing randomness. And then let's go to the tools and go to remove any overlaps. Very important. Let's grab this slice tool, hit shift, right click to get rid of anything over the bar so it doesn't keep going. Now it's going to feel more human. What we can do to make it less like is just take out that fifth. Now here we need that fourth tone to kind of make this make sense. Okay, in my ear, I want to go up to G. What we're doing now is transposing the key down. So I hit shift down to transpose everything down. So now we're in E minor. Another thing is the expression. We don't have time to like go through everything about guitar melodies here, but this specific plugin, if you go to browse parameters, scroll down to where it says MIDI CC number 1. This controls what's called the mod wheel. And in this specific plugin, we're going to create an automation clip. But in this specific plugin, the mod wheel creates what's called a vibrato effect. And this will add a little more motion to your emotional melody. So when we hold notes, I would recommend vibrato. So let's go to song mode. Now I'm just going to turn it on so you guys can hear what vibrato sounds like. So it goes like that. So something like this, I would probably create more of like a ramp style. And then we'll just control B. Now I'm going to put this on instrument mode so it plays more like a realistic guitar. So we're going to lose some of those tones. Actually, I prefer it just on keyboard mode. Okay, let's pull it back up to F minor. My ear wants to hear. Now, let's say you want to harmonize over this, or excuse me, freestyle over this, improv over this. Let's clone this guitar, and there's different scales we can use if we right click our typing keyboard to, what is it called? Typing keyboard to piano. We can right click. In my opinion, you can use over minor scales, the minor pentatonic, or you could use the blues scale. So let's do both. Let's record the minor pentatonic. We're going to record it octave C5, and then we need to write the root note, which in this case is F. So we are recording F and then minor pentatonic, but I'm playing on a second guitar. So I just freestyled that, okay, using that simple technique. And you can also, let's clone this pattern and let's do the same exact thing, but with the blues scale this time. So blues scale can also work. It's hard to hear because I'm playing from song mode. That was an accident. So again, we're just improvising over top. Okay, we just literally freestyled that with our fingers. Here's the minor pentatonic. Just showing you guys how to combine different ideas. Now, because there's 4 layers to melody, I can't teach you guys everything about everything about everything. There's 4 layers to melody. There's the top line, there's the harmony section, the contrast section, and then the rhythm section. Because we played all of those things in the first melody, we played the harmony, which is the chords. We played the harmony in a rhythm, and this also serves as a top line because this is the highest note in our melody. So it's 3 of those things in one. So me trying to freestyle over top, it already is cluttered as far as taking up those categories. The only category we didn't cover is the contrast layer. Contrast just means play something in a different timing or a different frequency range than what's happening in what's called the top line. So that is how you combine all these ideas. So let's hear this in context. Now, I would probably process this a lot more so that it feels like it fits in the song. We're going to turn on the amp for the solo part. It needs a lot more reverb too. Okay, so again, you guys can spend more time on the fine details, but go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory magic to learn a lot more about guitar melodies and harmonies and tonal centers, etc., etc. Thank you guys. Subscribe if you're new, like this video, leave a comment, share with a friend. Peace.